I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I get up when I'm bleeding, barely breathing. I'll never back down.
This is the collision of common sense and comedy. This is Defenders Live.
Thought I was 6 feet under. But now it's your turn to face.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, your goodness?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, your goodness.
It's my goodness, and don't you dare ask why.
It is not my goodness.
No, you can't have any.
It's fine.
It is. It's
I'll be fine with my coffee. You can
It's
have
Wednesday.
your goodness.
Have you gotten your coffee? Hasn't come in yet, has it?
No, I just ordered it like 2 days ago. I
Okay,
got
I did
the
too.
email yesterday or this morning saying that it was on its way.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wait a minute. What day did you order your?
2 days ago.
Not allowed to be frivolous.
Uh-oh.
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 Well, then don't be frivolous.
Stop it, Siri.
Siri. I mean, what are you talking about?
Jeez.
So hold on. So you ordered on
I ordered Sunday. I ordered on Sunday, and it was shipped out today.
Did I order Sunday or did I order Monday?
Probably Monday. You're a latecomer.
No. You're right. No. It would have been yesterday because of the whole. Because of I had to make sure money was in the account. And
You had to make sure everything was there, so that
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah. So it is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. It's
And you
hump day.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I'm going to stop right there.
let's do that.
Yeah. As you can see, I'm on a little bit of a different mic, and that's because we have some guests with us.
Yeah, we do. Some people decided they wanted to hang out with us for some weird reason.
awkward.
You know why? It's because they've never seen the show.
Oh, yeah.
And because they've never seen the show, they have no idea. So they're like, hey, we would really love to go. And we're like, okay.
I blame the American Huddle guys.
Hey, they had time to watch the show. It's not my fault.
American Huddle guys had time to watch the show,
They
too.
and
they've invited us on their show, so, oh, no.
Yeah, but that's not saying much.
It's true. It's true. It's not saying much.
That's not saying much.
Stop it.
So anyway, yes,
Anyway.
we are being joined tonight. It is night.
It is night.
By the Organizing Stop CPS.
Yeah, Operation Stop CPS.
That's what I said.
It is?
It is.
Are you sure?
I'm there.
Uh-huh.
I said organize. I know what I said, but it's the same thing. It's an organization.
Yes, Stop CPS.
I've
And-
always had a fear of these guys.
What, CPS?
CPS.
Yeah, CPS.
I
is
have.
bad.
It was actually, as a kid, I had a lot of people go through the system. Mm-hmm. A lot of friends and things like that. And not quite, I mean, I've had one or two experiences personally, but for the most part, it was all, friends and friends I've watched grow up. And I've seen stuff. And that was where I had learned quickly that no matter where you're at in any form of life, you don't, if you're asked a question, you answer that question.
Only.
You don't offer anything. You don't indulge in extra stuff. You don't ask for help or advice on stuff. If they ask it, you get as close to yes, no as you possibly can. You offer up nothing extra and you hold nothing, but don't lie. You don't lie. But if they don't ask, you don't tell. It's literally along those lines.
Ask no questions, I will tell you no lies.
Exactly. Exactly. And so, but anyway, this is an organization that, again, the American Huddle guys had interviewed them first and said, you guys would love them. And I'm like, sure, we will. And we talked and they're here. And so if you guys would be so great as to introduce yourselves. Please do. So that way they know who we're talking to.
Of course. My name is Amanda Wallace.
There you go.
And I am Tafira Austin.
And we are with Operation Stop CPS.
There you go.
Gotcha. Good stuff. So let's start from the beginning.
How did this happen?
How did this whole thing kick off?
Talk to us. Let us know.
Have you ever felt sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Are we going to go down this road? Are we really going to?
This is only a 2-hour show.
Have you ever felt sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, and I think that's where we had got. And then we had got to a point where we said, this can't be life. Right?
Yeah.
This can't be it. This can't be what I'm supposed to be here to help people, and I'm not helping people.
Right.
I'm not helping people do this. And so I've been a child welfare, child protection social worker for over 10 years.
Okay.
And I mean, I felt like I was doing a good job. You know, I was out here protecting children, and
Yeah.
I've been able to protect families from a broken system.
Okay.
But then it stopped being possible because policies kept getting stronger and stronger, and the government just kept getting stronger and stronger, and the rights of families just kept getting weaker and weaker. And so it just became so hard to be a good social worker in this system. And I said, I can't do this anymore. I didn't go to school all these years to show up to work and hurt people.
Yeah, exactly.
I could definitely understand
I'm
that.
right
yeah.
there. Yeah.
And so Operation Stop CPS is bold for a reason, right? When somebody says Operation Stop CPS, people are like, what are you trying to do?
What's going on?
You want the kids to be unsafe. It's like, well, no. We want parents of safe children to know how to keep their children safe and to tell the government to go off. Go away.
Yeah.
If
Which
your child
Stay
is
out of
We're
my
all about
path.
that one.
All right.
We're all about that one. So give us an example of what you're talking about. Because most people, again, when you hear CPS, everybody thinks that it's somebody who shows up because a kid's been abused and they're trying, like you said, to protect a child in an abusive situation. So give us an example, since that's the stigma everyone has.
Right.
You're saying not quite so much.
It's not what it's supposed to be.
Give us an example of what you're talking about. Something when you say that you weren't helping as much as you were under the impression, and people are under the impression that you were helping.
I mean, to give an example, we have James over here on the YouTubes. He's letting us know that CPS, F the Fourth Amendment. We don't need a warrant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good place
That's
to
how
start.
it goes.
Is that what it is?
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
We agree, James.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So yes.
so it, and for me, it was that point where I knew that either my mouth was going to really get me in trouble, or my mouth was really going to get me in trouble. So yeah.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
I mean, there's a
it's
big,
almost like it's.
there's a little bit.
I like looking in a mirror.
I know, it's almost.
Yeah. So that was, I had a case where a family mom was a resident of Hawaii. Her
Okay.
and her children. She had 7 children. She actually came, to the state of North Carolina. She had a license to actually participate in smoking marijuana while she was pregnant. And so when she got to North Carolina, her husband is he's retired from the Army.
Okay.
And so with that, they come here, and because she was already having complications, when she got here, she went into labor. Well, guess what? When you smoke marijuana in North Carolina, that's an automatic CPS case.
Yep.
Huh.
Currently,
Yeah.
currently, right?
Yeah, currently.
Because it is still kind of
exactly.
illegal here.
Right.
But the caveat of that is she had evidence, and she had her card where she was actually legal in
Yeah.
Hawaii. So all this time she's been in Hawaii legally,
Yeah.
smoking legally for her purposes of being pregnant. She gets here.
Medical marijuana license, the whole
Right.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And 1 week later, she's in labor and she has a CPS case. Mind you, I said she has 6 other children.
Wow.
Never had a CPS case. Those are the things that we started to see, because it's just like, why are we here? And when I showed up, she was in the process of breastfeeding her child.
Okay.
So, hi, I'm
Yeah.
CPS. I'm
Yeah.
here.
You're having
Hey.
a nice sweet time with your newborn
Yeah,
child. and
I
I'm-
need to interrupt that moment right quick because I need to.
Can you peel that kid off of you so I can have a conversation?
Yeah, because I'm here.
We've
I'm
got to
showing
talk
up.
seriously now.
Really, that bonding moment means nothing right now.
That whole thing that's like bonding your kid to you for life. Yeah, get that away. We
Yeah.
we need to talk.
Yeah.
But then that report, though, it was legal in Hawaii. She comes to North Carolina, and now she has a report. But now that report alone gives CPS the right to go and check the smoke detectors at the house and go and see if you have guns in your home.
See, that was always something about CPS too. And a little off topic of it for a second, but that was something about with CPS that always messed with me is, what does this lady allegedly illegally smoking marijuana in the state of North Carolina? Because it is illegal in North Carolina. I get the
is, yeah.
whole
Yep, 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 yep.
paperwork and all that jazz. That's nuanced. That's different.
Without
But-
the license.
Yeah, but on the surface, smoking marijuana illegally, how does that equate to smoke detectors. I don't understand that. What does that have to do with guns and gun safety? What does that have to do with locks on, the cabinets and stuff underneath the sink? One doesn't have to do with the other, and I never grasped that.
The funny thing about that is you don't hear many cases of people smoking marijuana and then going on a killing rampage.
I've never heard one.
Non-meaning, no.
Never. I mean,
You don't hear
doesn't-
that.
yeah.
That's not a thing.
happen.
You don't hear about people smoking weed and then I don't know
Knocking off a school bus
knocking
full
off
of
a school
kids.
bus full of kids or something.
Yeah.
That's not what happens. Usually it's cocaine or alcohol. It's not marijuana.
Right. But apparently that's very threatening to CPS, and you have to run out to hospitals and investigate and interrupt mothers' first moments with their children.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because, again, who cares?
Because who cares?
Well, and speaking of interrupting mothers' first moments with their child, a mother reached out to us recently, and she said, I showed up at the hospital to give birth to my baby.
Yeah.
10 years ago, she's a foster child. She was a foster child. She aged out of the system. She had children young, and so life is what it is.
Yeah.
So she lost 2 children 10 years ago. 10 years ago, she shows up at the hospital to give birth to this child, where she has changed her life and is in a better place. But CPS showed up at her hospital room and told her, "You're not leaving this hospital with your child today."
Oh, I'd be in jail.
Well, she went to jail.
Oh, good. A woman after my own heart.
Well, she went to jail, but
for the wrong reasons.
They
Yes.
took her child,
Yeah, I'd have.
and she's still today without her child. They
See,
took
that's
her-
not good. That's not
See,
cool.
that's the kind of junk.
If you can have,
There was
if you have any
nothing
sort of
else-
proof,
nothing else that this mother did other than show up at the hospital to give birth to her
if
child.
you have any proof whatsoever that you've changed your life, there's absolutely no reason for them to even go further than, hey, this is maybe a checkup.
Yeah.
A checkup, I can understand a checkup. Like, hey,
Making sure.
you had past history. We're just checking in because obviously you checked in at a hospital giving birth. We want to make sure the baby's safe. How's things? Okay, I can kind of understand that. Kind of.
Isn't it kind of funny how there seems
There's
to be
a line.
It's a line.
There's a line.
It's a fair thing. And I don't
Oh,
think
it's so thin.
I don't think CPS needs to be the one asking that question. I think the hospital has social
Yeah,
workers, right?
they have social
hospital has
workers.
social workers that can come and ask mothers. if
They've
they
got
have the
shrinks and
resources.
psychiatrists
Yeah.
and everything
Right.
else. They have their own resources. They could easily say, "Hey,
Are you okay?
we noticed a couple things. Is everything okay?"
Yeah. Ask some questions. What happened to innocent until proven guilty?
Oh, that's
Right.
a thing of the past.
Oh, of
Right.
course, of course. And the same thing Club High School did when
Right.
you were just talking about it. It also, how come statute of limitations happens for when, the people moving out, to the government or to whatever. But the government, there is no statute of limitations. Like you said, 10 years.
10
years. No evidence of any problems, no evidence of any issues. And they could just walk in and go, "I'm sorry, ma'am, you're not walking out with your kid."
Yeah.
Well,
Not walking out with your child.
That's not cool.
At all.
That's not good.
And that's why Operation Stop CPS is there. When we were calling around to try to get this mom some help, somebody said, "Well, that's not a nice name. That's not being very nice." I said, "Well,
not
the
a-
situation is not very
I was
nice."
going to say, this is not a nice situation.
They're not being nice.
So when we say Operation Stop CPS, it's
Wow.
'cause we're saying something needs to stop.
Right.
Right.
There's something specifically that's a problem. It's CPS. It needs to stop.
The next time someone says to you that name isn't right, one of you needs to look at the other one and go, "I told you it was too aggressive." That's what you need to do. Just to be a jerk. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's
It's funny that you said that because when we were first starting, I showed my husband, this is our name. And he
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa, that's kind of bold." So I called him in and I said, "Guess what he said?" He said, "It's kind of bold." And was like, "Yes." And he was
good.
like, "What?"
We've done it.
That's the watermark. He doesn't know it or not, but we're going with it.
Yeah.
The husband said it's too bold. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
If he came back and went like, "Oh, that's pretty good," you'd walk back and be like, "No, we gotta
No,
try
that's
it again.
it.
We gotta try
change
again.
something. We gotta change
This is not good enough."
Needs to be stronger.
And I appreciate the whole situation because speaking of the whole being bolder, there are too many people nowadays who just flake and they don't have a spine. Doesn't matter whether you're talking politics or you're talking in celebrities, the whole, "Well, I'm going to put this on social media," and then turn around and go, "Oh, well, I am so sorry for what I said. I shouldn't have done that." We need boldness. We need people to be able to stand up for what they believe in and say, "I'm sorry, you could not like me. This is wrong." Period.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing else applies. Nothing else matters. Nothing else means a hill of beans.
Because there's currently a child, and she gave me permission to say his name.
Okay.
But Zephaniah Brown, that's currently in custody
Okay.
right now. But his mom is now sitting at her house in the room she prepared for her child to come home from this hospital, and he's not home.
He's not there.
He's not there. And so when we say Operation Stop CPS and we want to be bold, it's because it's for him and for all of the other children sitting in CPS custody when they have families
Yeah.
that they can be at home.
It's like
with.
this
And
kid should be
needs
home.
To stop.
Yeah. Well,
Kid should
every
be home.
kid should be home within within reason. But
Right, within reason. Right.
the thing about it is that's where it sucks with. Because Stephen and I's mantra when it comes to politics as a whole is you have to deal with stuff locally, and this is to me is proof that you if you can't get your local stuff together, who cares who you think you're getting for president? That's the least of your
That does not
worries at this
matter at all.
point. Look at what they're doing to the children in your community, or in this case, in our community. And we've talked about this before when we talked the other day. Unless people are faced with it directly in some connection or another, everyone else is like, "Oh, that sounds horrible,"
Yep.
and that's as far as it
Right,
goes.
yep, right.
That's just terrible.
Yeah.
Until they knock on your door.
Until they knock exactly,
Right.
and then everybody's like, "Oh, well, hold on,
That's a problem. Yeah.
now it's a problem,"
That's a problem.
and that goes back to
Oh, I thought it was Three's Company. I'm sorry.
oh no, I was thinking of Bonhoeffer, but if you want to,
I was going. You
comedic-
said knock on the door.
Oh.
that's where it went.
God, I can't believe I missed that one.
Wow, really?
I was thinking Bonhoeffer. They
You're still-
came for the
Okay.
No.
He
This is
he
past.
just read Bonhoeffer.
Dietrich Bonhoeffer.
The documentary.
Yeah. It is a documentary.
It is a documentary.
If you don't know, Dietrich Bonhoeffer was a German pastor during World War II who actually had connections and a hand in the assassination attempt of Hitler during Operation Valkyrie, where they tried to blow him up inside the thing. He was a very outspoken, very strong. This is right. This is wrong. No. And one of the sayings that he had, or it was at least attributed to him, I don't know if he said it or somebody else had gotten it, but it was to cut it short. They came for, they came for the workers, and I said nothing. They came for the Nazis. They didn't say anything. They came for not Nazis, but they went down this list
They
of people.
came for the
came
workers. They came for the Jews. They came for the blacks. They came for the
That's it.
gays. They came for this, and I said nothing.
And I said nothing, and then they came for me, and then there was no one left to say anything for me. And that has always, I've heard that long before I went through the biography, but that has always stuck with me. And this is the same kind of thing. If you don't stand up and say something about something and you know it to be wrong,
Right.
and to not bend, not capitulate. You don't have to be a douche about it, but at the same time, you need to be able to stand your ground and say, this is wrong and I'm not going to give.
Right.
And that's why we wanted to create the Respond and Power Guide, because we saw that parents did not understand what to do when CPS knocked on their door, which made them powerless and CPS so powerful.
Yeah, because everybody gets a little weird when the government or the police show up at your door. There's the same thing that happens when everybody could be Billy Badass when they're driving down the road, get pulled over. And they are stiff as a board. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
here's why it does. I don't understand how fast I was going, sir.
I was going,
Yeah, hands at 10 and 2. You making sure the radio's turned down, everything, and that's what we do.
Right.
And it's just I can see that people, like I said, once
CPS has the same sort of power in that way
But-
because people don't know what to
But
expect
we
from
just
them.
have clipboards, no gun, and we come with a smile.
and then you care. So that's when I was going to say that's when it goes weird. You don't lock up. You go, oh, and then you start saying stuff that you don't realize that they're sitting here going,
Check.
wait a second,
Check.
you have a what now?
You said what?
There's
And there
you
is?
had a gun in his what? And every little thing, even if you have a brother who comes by occasionally who's got a mental issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
How often is he there?
Oh yeah, it just start catching these things, and then it's almost like a scorecard. If you can get 10 or more out of this, then we're going to show back up again.
We do have a score.
You have
I told you.
They have a
I
scorecard.
told you.
They have a
If you're, I
scorecard.
think it's what 0 to 3, you're low risk.
You're low.
If you're 3 to 5, You're getting a little risky.
They
You're moderate.
actually have a
If you're higher
scorecard.
than- You're 6 or higher.
Oh, it's a problem.
Yeah, somebody.
problem.
Next time you
problems.
come back is with the feds.
Yeah,
you're gonna
it's
be
a
like,
problem.
"This guy with
It's
the
a
gun's
problem.
gonna tell you what's about to happen."
See.
Yeah.
But that's what we've gotten to, where we just make we've turned families into paperwork.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Turn
It's just notches, just notches on the line.
And that's just not life. You have to meet people where they are.
Yeah.
And that's what social work is supposed to be, but that's not what we are anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what social workers are.
No, they're
We
they're
push paper.
they're a soft arm,
Uh-huh.
is what
Yes.
they are.
Yes.
You know, you have the guns, you have the cops, you have the feds and all the rest, and then you have CPS, which is a gentle,
Yeah.
soft,
And convince
And-
you that you're at fault, even if it's something
and then-
little.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can tell me your business.
Right.
Yeah.
Your son fell down the stairs how many times?
And how did that even happen?
How did that happen?
We are here to help you.
Yeah.
You didn't
Oh,
have.
you only had a little alcohol? Well,
How much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. How
many
much is a
guns-
little, and
Yeah.
how often do you drink it? And oh, and you work how many hours?
Dad came in and he hit you? Oh.
Yep. Every little thing adds up.
Everything. Everything adds up. And that's what people need to understand, that this is a problem. And until we start answering our doors different, right?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
And it usually starts with
Until we
every
start-
time.
Right, until we start answering our doors differently,
Yep.
and we stop just giving out information willingly,
Yeah.
Yep.
they will still
It-
operate the same.
It's very simple. You open the door. Hi, I'm sorry, I don't believe in it.
right.
Yeah.
We don't even open the door. No, I thank you. I found Jesus. I'm fine.
I'm good.
You got to be able to address if it's a valid concern, and
Yeah.
that's what we want people to understand, is if it's not a valid concern,
Yeah.
you have rights.
Oh yeah.
Bring me to court and make me tell a judge that I did
Yeah.
something wrong. But if it's a valid report,
Mm-hmm.
we want people to understand how to walk through it to prove that your child is safe, without letting CPS
Exactly.
in your house and without giving them all the information.
Right.
Because again, the same thing applies to when a cop shows up to your house or pulls you over. Even if you're not doing anything, you don't. This whole, well, I'm going to videotape it the whole time and I'm going to talk junk. That doesn't help you. If you know and can prove that you are in the right, is it an inconvenience? Yes. Does it suck at that moment? Yes. But then you carry your happy little ass down to the courthouse and you stand there and you go, "Officer, Your Honor, here's the facts," blah, 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 and lay it all out. And then he gets in trouble, or
Whatever
appears to
happens.
be, whatever, and you get at least, resolved to the situation.
But the problem though with CPS, and what we've learned in the last 2 days of trying to help get Zephaniah home, is that people are, even though you show up to the courthouse and even though you show up to say that something is wrong, no one's listening to you.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And no one's listening to you
Because
when
they're
you show up,
they're gonna trust the
they're
government.
gonna trust the government.
That's why we all need to ban.
Or they're getting paid from the government.
Yeah.
That
As we
part.
talked about too. Lawyers aren't going to argue it because they get money no matter what.
Yeah.
Regardless, that's not their kid.
Whether
not
it's
their
your
life.
money or the government's money, they're getting money and they don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything's coming out the same pot. And we've got to clean these pots up. Rob, you got to.
It's pretty dirty. It's dirty money
At this
there.
point, yeah, they need to. Most of them need to just be thrown out. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Also,
be
it's pretty
done.
close. Pretty close there, yeah.
go back to Tupperware.
Ooh, Tupperware.
I miss Tupperware.
I still have some.
No, I mean the good Tupperware.
Oh, the stuff that you like burp it.
Yeah, but do you remember? So I was flipping through us. Again, you have to forgive us. We go on tangents. We're just you're along for the
We do
ride.
too.
Do you remember?
All over the place.
Speaking of Tupperware, do you remember that giant? And it was giant to me when I was a kid. That giant orange pitcher that had the flat lid. With
Heck
the
yeah.
lid, and you pushed the top and.
Yeah. It had the pressure valve on it.
I miss it so bad.
It was a pressurized, I don't know how you pressurize tea, but it was a pressurized tea
pressure.
pitcher.
Yeah.
What's going on
It was
there?
really cool. It was thick enough that you could hit somebody with it, and it never cracked.
Also, it never
I
bent.
know, because me and my brothers used to hit each other with it.
There you go. You tested it out.
Never cracked, never bent.
today.
Never.
He's here, and so everything's
I'm-
fine.
Right.
Well, the fine part might be a little. The jury's still out on that one.
He's
I
manageable.
have a tumor, and
There you
that's
go.
all that
There you go.
He's
may or may not be alluded to.
he's manageable. All right.
That's putting it mildly. So
Oh, we don't call you the AI for nothing.
that's true.
That's right.
Okay, so that's the first half hour done. We're going to dive into this book and more of these guys with Operation Stop CPS when we come back. Guys, don't go anywhere. Make sure you get your tweets and everything in at DOAE Show.
We'll read them.
I promise we'll get to them here on the other side. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Because he was in the military.
He was in the military.
That's a whole nother thing that I've learned. And again, I had to kind of piece this together from other people. But that's another thing that they already don't take care of vets enough as they should. But
Fix the VA.
the way, not even, yeah, that's true too, but not just that.
part of it.
The ways that they go at it are horrible. There's a bunch of guys that we
PTSD
work
means
with.
everything is wrong with you and you can't have anything for the rest of your life.
There are a bunch of guys that we know who are vets.
Yeah.
Who have gone for the medical disability.
And usually they go for
And
PTSD
they go
because
through
it's the hardest
PTSD.
thing to prove.
What they never realize once they get it done and over with is the moment they get that, they're red flagged for a firearm.
Yep.
And they
Can't have one.
never get that. They never understand that. And then it's one of those, well, I've already got a whole bunch of them. I'm like, you better hope to God the government doesn't find out because they will come tear your door down.
You better just hide them somewhere and never mention them ever again.
Or sadly, unless you desperately need it, do not be filing for disability through the government.
Like, if you're
They use everything you tell them.
well, yeah, and that's the thing. There was a stretch there for the past 7 years, 8 years, where they were being told by their fellow fellow vets, hey, take it this way.
Yep.
Go to the VA, fill out this paperwork, get this, you'll get disability, everything will be cool. You don't even have to work, yada 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 yada.
And they also veil it under the whole, you earned it. You fought for it. You earned it. And to a point, you're absolutely true. What they don't understand is all the little caveats that go with it.
You also get your life controlled for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And
It's like, wait, didn't you fight for freedom?
Yeah.
And now you're out of the military.
Not your own freedom.
who's freedom? I was going to say.
This is Defenders Live.
All right.
So they actually have a guide with us.
They meaning
Operation
Stop CPS is hanging out with us.
They have a guide for everybody.
If you're
out
watching
there.
on the Facebooks, the YouTubes, Periscope,
FaceTubes, the U-books,
yeah, all that good.
the Twitters and tweetings,
I tweets, the Twitters, and
all
stuff,
the twiddling.
stuff and things.
It's a responded power guide. It's a parents and caretakers guide to child protective services and the system.
And I haven't looked through this yet, but I'm going off of my history and the things I understand. I would bet that a lot of the guide to this would apply to pretty much anything pertaining to if the government of any kind shows up to your door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Say less.
A lot of the rules
less.
kind of stuff. The key is shh. If you ask a question, you answer that question as close to yes or no as possible. That's it. Everything else is,
Unless you really don't want to answer that question.
or unless you decide you want to go to jail,
I'm sorry, I'm not answering that one.
Right.
plead the fifth.
Exactly. Exactly. That's people have rights, and people need to understand that they have rights.
Yes.
Now, how are you providing this? So I've already sent out a link to your Facebook page for everybody. It's Operation Stop CPS. That's how the Facebook page is.
Yes.
That's everything. So you can go there, find it all. I've sent a link out so that everybody out there can go check that out. The book.
Yes.
Where do they get it?
So it's available in paperback on Amazon. And then the ebook is available at www.operationstopcps.com. And you can go right on there and you can buy either, like I said, the ebook, or you can get the link to go straight to Amazon right off our website. And it talks to you more about the guide and how it's going to help you, and just talks to you more about the problem. Because, this is just the beginning for Operation Stop CPS. We just launched, May 13th?
May 13th.
We're launching with a bang.
Nice.
That's how you do it.
That's the best
how
way to
you
go.
do it.
It's the best way to go.
Bang.
Sure.
And when we thought about, okay, how do we do this? When we were in the drawing board, like, okay, what are we going to do? We said, parents need the help first.
Yes.
That's who needs the help first.
What have we been saying?
Yep.
Like, we've been talking nothing about, there's a lot of the problems, and everybody complains about it. And a lot of the problems going on in the world today starts, would argue, at the home. The parents, and and I understand there are certain situations where it can, you have the single parent home, but even then, most parents nowadays are not raising their children anymore. They've passed it off to the schools, to the internet, to insert whatever thing and then they listen to all these other people. Oh, well, they're the experts. They went to school. They know better, blah, 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 blah. Yep. That's why that, my kid, does these things or says these things or suddenly comes up to me and says that they are no longer a boy, they're a girl or whatever all this stuff is.
Sure, whatever.
And it's like the parents aren't there to raise and be a part of their life. They've been moved to this spot where all they do now is work.
Yep.
All they do is work, and you're not smart enough to raise your kid, even if you're the one who's there the entire time.
You're not the expert.
You're not the expert. You have no idea what's going on.
No clue.
Especially as a mom, forget the fact that you carried it for 9 months and did all of the dirty diapers and up at 2 a.m. and blah, 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 blah. You don't have a flying clue about your child. Somebody who has never had children, who spent $100,000 in education, they know more than you do
about your own child.
child.
Well, CPS likes to use the American Pediatric Association. I've never met anyone from it, but apparently they know everything about children, and they can, just tell CPS or parents what they're supposed to.
So they're Anthony Fauci for kids.
Yes.
Yay!
Okay.
Except for maybe not as wishy-washy.
I think they are.
I don't know.
I think
usually,
they. Have you seen some of the releases from the pediatrics?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, buddy.
That's true. Let's see. Adam W. Johnson over on Twitter. When CPS took my daughters from my ex-wife, I had to go through hoops and investigations to take custody of my own children. Then for a year, HHS insisted I still had to pay my child support even though I had physical custody.
That sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
I'm not going to promise anything, but it is true. Sam Sorbo would be great
Ooh.
on this topic.
Yeah.
We're going to pass your information on Sam Sorbo.
We'll off air. We'll talk to you about it. You may not know that name, but when we describe it, you will.
Okay.
We'll go like this. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, by the way, that 3 seconds of silence was brought to you by Sam Sorbo.
Yeah. Well, no promises, but we do. She has a show on the network. We'll pass her off and see if she's interested.
definitely.
She's
We
also
can't
big
wait
for
to talk.
homeschooling and everything. She's a
huge homeschool proponent.
Yeah.
She's huge into
Sweet
making sure.
lady.
Yeah.
They
Sweet
come
lady.
after homeschoolers too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
So you may not have noticed. I have 4 kids.
Two.
You saw 2.
Right?
You saw 2. 2 more were peeking around the corner
Okay.
because, well, one, we're loud, and we have additional company. So,
Yeah. They're curious.
yeah, they are. So, I have 4 kids, and we've had CPS at our house multiple times. One, because we homeschool our oldest, and also because single income of 4 kids and a wife.
Gotcha. Yep.
And so they're like, oh,
Something isn't right.
Something is that
You're not part of the norm, sir.
how are you doing this?
What are you doing?
Tell him you're a male prostitute.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, don't tell them that.
Because then that means you leave them at home by themselves.
Yeah, you can't.
But no, the wife is always here.
The wife is always there. He is admitted.
Still. Say
Say
less.
less.
Right. Always. Always.
And in a pinch, Bible study leader is always
It's a good one
to go with.
It's a good one.
It
There
never
you go.
fails. They
There
can't
you go.
prove it. They
They can't prove that you didn't
I was
do
holding
it.
Bible study that night, sir.
It was me and the Lord.
That was it.
It's a men's group.
There. Me and the Lord.
Just me and the Lord. That's all it needs.
It's a men's study.
know-
You wouldn't understand.
The Bible says when 2 or 3. Well, it's me and God. That makes 2, so I'm good.
Me, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. That's 4.
That's 4.
We were all there.
We were right.
That homeless crackhead was over there too. I know he heard something.
He had to hear something.
Yeah,
he was
he
far
heard
enough.
something.
He wasn't that far away.
The Knights Who Say Neo over on Twitter. What does the girlfriend say about at Dylan Lyles being manageable? She doesn't.
She doesn't.
She's being quiet. She doesn't. She passed me on the head and goes, "But I love him," and that's about it.
Isn't that special?
Special. Oblivion Flickering also on Twitter. Ma'am, we have a report that your son told you, or that he fell down the stairs, or he fell down, and you told him to get a Band-Aid out of the medicine cabinet. And When he said he was bleeding, you told him, take 2, and continued to pet your cat.
That's emotional abuse. Right?
Yeah.
According to CPS.
Just so we're clear, just a heads up, especially on Twitter, most of the people over there are smart Alex. So if you hear something that's
Straight
like,
jokes
oh my,
I understand it. I get
all
it.
day long. That's all it is.
snark and jackholism is what we do. So anyway, so you guys said that you guys kicked this off May
13th.
May 13th. I knew it was 13th, but I couldn't remember. So, and y'all have obviously went.
Yes. We have hit the ground running.
Yes. That's awesome.
So again, so what are your?
Come on.
What's the goal? I mean, we know what the goal is, obviously,
Operation
for
Stop
CPS. I got that part. But like, what else are you trying to do besides just bringing awareness to the situation?
So
Do
what's
you have?
what are the steps that you're trying to take? So
Yeah.
what he's trying to get at, like everybody has the goal, the big goal, but what are the small goals in
Yeah,
between?
in
where
between.
where do you want to get first? Like what's the
That's a
first
giant leap
milestone?
from here to
Right.
total
Where's
reformation.
the first milestone?
So for us, we want to see that. So 1.9 million children were affected by unwarranted CPS investigations in 2019 alone. And so we just want to see that number decrease, right? That's a small step. That's something that we can see when it comes to the numbers going down. But we want to also see CPS being held accountable, right? And people and parents speaking up about injustices. Right?
Okay.
Because they've been silent for too long. And so
Yeah.
we want to be able to help people understand that they have rights
Yeah.
and they have power. We said on our live the other day, can you imagine CPS showing up at your door and you have on this shirt? I know they can't see it, but this shirt right here that says Operation Stop CPS, and you know what's in this guide. You show CPS, you
Yeah.
better know your job.
yeah.
Right? You better know your
Yeah.
job. And so
Yeah.
for us, we want to, that's why we launched Operation Stop CPS, to be able to, give back to the community and give resources to the community.
Right.
To then be able to hit the ground and hold CPS accountable. We want to go to their front door.
Yeah, you're
just
trying
like
to
they
hold
come
their feet to the fire.
Right, and so that's what we want to give back to our communities as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're launching Respond Empower Inc., which will be our nonprofit, which we'll be able to get out into the community and really do like parent education groups and be
Yeah.
able to teach the guide, right? Because just giving the education is one part of it, but we want people to really understand how to use it.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to say is you want to make sure that everybody knows what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. I mean, it sounds so simple, but they've made it so hard. That's
everything.
it. It sounds.
It's like
so
taxes.
simple.
It's taxes.
Yeah.
Every year it changes, and you're like, why?
They
Why?
put different standards, different places, different policies, different places.
Yeah.
And then you have to go here, here, here to find different information. But, it's just like parents are lost. It's just like, where it's out there, but where do I look for it?
Yeah.
Like you said with taxes. Oh, it's a new rule this year that,
Yeah.
no.
If you have a
take-
three-legged dog,
Yeah. This year you can't take him.
Yeah, exactly.
He has to have 4 legs.
it's a 4 legs.
He either has to have 4 legs or no legs.
Yeah. That's
A
the only
3-legged dog
criteria.
is not there. You can't do it.
There is an exception for the 2-legged dog with the little wheelchair thingy in the back, but
That makes it 4 legs.
Right?
that does make it 4 legs. But
2
But
legs
it
and
has
2
to be-
wheels.
you have to make sure that you're following their rules.
yeah,
Right.
But the question is
Right.
that dog a schnauzer? It has to be a schnauzer. If it cannot be a schnauzer,
It has to be a schnauzer.
If it's anything above a schnauzer, you can't like.
It's
if you,
too big at that
If you
point.
bring your cockapoo in, we're gonna be like, I'm sorry, sir. We can't
Well, first
accept
off, it's a cockapoo. The name itself is bad.
yeah,
it's a terrible name.
It's a terrible name for a terrible dog.
Horrible
It's
name.
just-
I mean, why would you ever combine those two things?
Cock and poo.
Yeah. Why would you
Yeah.
ever do that?
Because
Thought.
you want an irritating beast.
Right. You want
Loathes
something
its
that's
own
going to
existence.
yap at you,
You if it had
that hates
like,
itself. You
Exactly,
want something
it
that
does.
wants to hate
If
itself.
it had the opposable thumb, it would be blowing its own brains out. That's the kind
right.
of dog that is.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
It's like, why would you ever have a chihuahua?
Nip.
Because you want to have something to kick across the room when you're angry.
Peter, hold on. They're going to be listening. You
Don't
can't
worry
do
about
it.
that. People eating tasty animals are not going to be upset at
Yeah,
us.
they like me. They like
Baby,
me.
I'm telling you, they're serious about it.
Well, I know, and that's the bad part. Again, we're at a point now where that anything will get
Anything.
all
Anything you say.
any little hook the government, any form of government can get in you, I promise you, it trails from there because it's somebody else. Oh, so you had CPS called on you. Well, and then it's,
Judgment.
oh, dear God. And then the laundry list of things that just go and go and go. It's,
It keeps going. It keeps going. And like, if the system is so complicated that people don't know where to start. And that's what we wanted people to understand that this was just the idea that some people came up with.
yep.
Right?
Yeah.
They had an idea that that children needed protection and that their parents couldn't do it, and it's just grown because it's backed by money.
Right. A lot of political money.
Oh, yeah.
Because political money is.
Yeah.
It's the same idea with
We're
pretty much everything. It's the same idea with anything that goes on. If it could help one child.
It's all about the children.
Oh my God, it's all about children.
What about the family?
What about the families?
We could just save one child.
What about the families? Especially the families that are interacting with CPS on the biggest basis. The families that have the least amount of money. The families that have, and I say families, and that's a really loose term because it's usually just one parent and a bunch of kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of cases, it's one parent and a bunch of kids. Yeah, you can call that a family, but is that really?
It's their family.
It is their family.
Right.
But is it the way it should be? No. Why is CPS getting involved with that? When in reality, where's dad? Where's mom? Where's this? If it's a death in the family, I got you. No worries.
Yeah.
But if the other adult is still alive somewhere but just hanging,
yeah.
where there,
What happened to personal accaccountability at that
What
point?
happened
As
to
a
it?
parent,
what happened to being a parent?
we've given up, like I said before, we've given up being a parent. And we've given it off to these other organizations, whether it's school or the government or whatever. And sadly, a lot of it, in you know, when you talk about on the lower end, like you're talking about the
Right,
lower
right.
incomes and the single parents and stuff, it's out of necessity.
Yep.
Mom, dad, whoever's the only parent in the house can't work a job, 2 jobs, come home, handle kids, do all that stuff and still be the best that they can be. So
Right.
somebody has to do something.
Right. And also you got to think of how it's rooted into our system,
Yeah.
right? Is that if you want assistance, the father can't be in the home.
That's
Yeah.
stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So if
'cause-
because you're just barely making it because you have assistance.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you got to kick out the other parent to get the assistant.
Yeah. Which,
So it's set up for failure.
again,
Exactly.
going back to, like you said, without taking the situation at its value, each one individually, you can't just
Yeah.
blanket stuff. Yes, if you've got a deadbeat dad who's just sitting there doing absolutely nothing, then you're right. Then there should be no, you should limit it or however, or do whatever. But you never know the situation. Last year sucked for a lot of people.
Almost everybody.
A lot of people were touched. A lot of people were without jobs. And you mean to tell me that people who've tried and who put that effort into it, now they get, like you said, they may not qualify for stuff now. Because why? Well, dad's not working. Well, technically neither is mom. But mom had the kids and da-da-da.
Yep.
It's just
Right.
insane.
And it's funny that you said that because my thought went to CPS has this thing where, like you were saying, dad's not present, right? So dad's not been in somebody's life or dad's incarcerated, whatever. CPS has made a policy to state that dad has to be contacted. Dad has it's
Why?
Even if they've never met the child.
See,
you have to find dad. You have to
Go find the dad.
Go find dad. You have
Apparently,
to,
he didn't
you
want to be
know,
found.
Right. You have to call this man who hasn't been involved with their child. This is so
the stuff that
this
goes
is,
on.
it happens all the time. So it's like you have to call dad. Hi, just want you to know. Little,
Involved.
little
Yeah.
Annie has a CPS case and
Who?
it's like who? You know. oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So I can stop child support now, huh? You know, and it's
No.
I was
just,
gonna say all I'm seeing now is that clip from that movie. I can't think of what it was, but Cat Williams is sitting there in jail talking about that is not my baby. He come out with a 730 credit score. That is not my child.
yeah.
That's all I thought. I'm so sorry, but no, but that
No,
goes
you're
into no, I'm not. But that goes into
Don't apologize for something you're not sorry about.
no, it's funny as hell to me. No, but that goes back to the whole thing that the whole system is. I've had issues with this, mainly because I happen to fit this criteria. It is not a fan of men. It's not by any stretch of the imagination. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking CPS, whether you're talking food stamps, whether you talk anything. It doesn't matter what's going on. If I'm a single dad, 2 boys, okay?
Well, semi-single.
Well, I'm single. I'm not married.
Legally.
I'm not married.
I mean,
We're not married yet. I am committed.
Okay, there we go.
I am committed.
Great word. Committed. There you go.
I am committed. I am not married, okay, by legal standards. I'm saying this for a reason. So, because like her stuff doesn't apply to me and my stuff doesn't apply to her. Anyway.
I'm just making sure we clear the air here.
Anyway.
Might be watching.
No, she's recording her show.
Okay.
No, but like I can apply for food stamps right now, and I already know that being qualified as a single dad, due to work, I'm on partial unemployment. Like you want to talk about actual situation of need, and I promise you, I won't hardly get anything. I can go, and before I had kids, going back to this, before I had kids, I applied for food stamps. You remember?
Yeah, I do.
I had lost my job. I had just enough money to pay for rent.
Half pay.
I half paid and worked the rest of it off. I had enough to pay for. Actually, I worked off my rent. I paid for internet so I can have obviously ability to look for a job, and I paid for lights. And I had $40 left over every single week. That I put $20 into my tank, which I had it on a science. I drove my truck to church, went to church, put in the 20 in gas, stopped by Food Line on the way home to spend $20 in food, and came home. And I didn't leave my house unless I had a job interview. Okay, so that's what I did. Applied for food stamps. I got $16. And the lady told me, she goes, well, sir, this is just a supplement. I'm like, this doesn't hardly... Supplement what? Like, I don't understand. Like, this doesn't make sense to me. And so
You can tell he doesn't eat like a college kid. Ramen noodles is not what he does on a monthly basis. I know
at the time
yeah,
I did.
You did.
I was buying a 5-pack of the
the 5-pack
of
ramen
macaroni and cheese.
Yep.
And I did 5-pack of the 5-pack of macaroni and cheese
and the
was
25-pack of ramen.
I did a box of ramen, a gallon of milk, and a box of cereal, and that's what I ate the entire week.
Yep. But
It's because all I could do.
And he was not
if you had
healthy.
Children at the time, though.
Oh, I know.
Right?
Again,
If you had children at the time, even though you could figure out a way to make it work,
Yeah.
somebody would judge and say, I don't know that you can make it work.
yeah, or they would turn around and go, well, why aren't you? And it would still, okay, so instead of $16, I would get 40 or 50.
Yeah, right.
Again, it would only be up to a little bit. You're a guy. Why is it? And I went off on the poor lady. I did. And
He was not happy.
I tried to be nice about it. When I started off, I really tried. I was like, ma'am, I don't understand. I'm like, here's my situation.
Right.
I literally have
Don't understand.
nothing.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. And then she finally kept coming back to, oh, well, this is only supposed to supplement you. It's not supposed to feed you. I got mad, and I said something that I probably shouldn't say, but was truth. I said, well, if I was a pregnant Mexican lady, we wouldn't be having this conversation, would I? And I hung up. And I know that is not appropriate,
It's not right.
but we all know that to a point, there's a little bit more truth in that than anybody wants to admit.
It's not correct, but it is true.
No, it was not the nice Christian thing to say. And I admit that.
That was how you felt.
But I was so mad because I was at a point in my life where here's rock bottom. Here's me.
Yeah.
We were.
Yeah.
He was
just kept bouncing off of it.
Right.
And it was just like it took everything I had to apply for it in the first place. I'm a very proud person.
Yeah.
And
then getting like $15 as a slap in the
That's like a
face.
slap in the face. After you had to do all of that, right?
and I was like, you know what? I told Leigh, I was like, don't even bother anymore. I drove up there and I literally threw the card in the window and at the receptionist thing and walked back out and
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, and like I said, even now, like I know I'm in a situation with kids. I know it would be a little bit better of a benefit, but I'm not even going to try at this point.
Yeah.
But thank God, between me and the girlfriend, the things are able to be done and kids are fed, and so I'm not gonna.
He's secure.
I'm
in
not,
what he
yeah, I'm
has.
okay with it. I'm not gonna start on it because I don't need to get any more angry than what I already am.
Right. There you go.
Especially at the system.
But like I said, it's those kind of things that eventually, you get connected to, and everything kind of trails. And before long, you're on this list where you can't fly or
Yep.
something
Because,
weird
I
like
mean,
that. And
Well, because that's where they want to keep most people.
yeah, exactly.
They wanna define your ceiling, right? They define your ceiling.
Look at this past year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't show your face. Can't do all the rest.
Well,
of
and
it.
look at how it is now with the whole, we're going to incentivize people to get vaccinated and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, if it really worked and was a good thing, do you really need to incentivize people?
If it actually worked.
I agree.
It's like, and we're not one of those crazy, as they call them, crazy anti-vaxxers. If it will prevent this, like I don't do the flu shot. It's not that I go through this litany of, they put mercury in it and all these things that people do. I don't listen to that. I don't take it and I don't give it to my kids because every time I and my children have gotten really sick. Okay? Now,
Because it makes you sick.
well, and it's because I think I'm a vet, so they inject us with all kinds of crap in the beginning. I think that I have a perfect immune system now because of that.
Okay.
And when they try to give me this artificial crap, body's like, nay, we've got this. We've got this.
Right.
And it fights it off. And what that does is it causes his entire body to shut down for 2 days.
Or 3 days, and because we go back like December.
I remember. Yeah.
Last December. It
Yeah.
was not this past one, the one before
The
that.
one before that, yeah.
And he'll tell you, I don't get sick. Like if I get sick, it's but I mean sick like
he'll have a migraine every now and again or whatever, but that's because the
tumor.
Tumor.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But no, like I get.
it's when he can't handle it anymore.
But no, this one was because we were carpooling, and we rolled in, and I'm like, just neck hurts. Remember, it started that. I was like, man, my neck feels a little tight. I must have slept wrong. About
halfway through the day.
3 hours later, I'm like, oh God, everything's starting to hurt now. By what, 2 o'clock? Not even 2
He
o'clock.
was dying.
When I say, and he knows it. When I say dying, I was dying.
Like,
People were
Okay,
walking
so-
by, and he looked and goes, "You're not doing good, are you?" And I'm like,
Are you dying?
he didn't,
I'm like, "Give it away."
he didn't have to do anything. Like he was just sitting. He wasn't trying to look
I really
sick.
wasn't. I was
he was
trying to
actually
power
trying
through
to
it.
look fine. He was trying to be fine. He was just sitting, and he was gone.
It's-
It was under these lights. We look even whiter than we are.
Yeah.
Dude, on the screen, you'll see it. You'll see it if you go and look back
Yeah.
at the video. We look really, really pale. He looks a lot more pale
Then normal.
than normal.
It should
like
be.
he looked at it was pasty, the almost
sweats
almost
and-
gray,
Yeah.
like your skin turned gray, sort of like that. Like
I was
ugh.
cold, and I'm doing that, like trying to keep warm, and
It's like
he goes,
he's not a guy that gets cold.
"I don't. I'm a inferno."
That's how you knew something was wrong.
Exactly. Even he knew. He's like, "You need to go home." I'm like, "I know I need to go home." He's like, "Come on." That was it.
We're going home.
But yeah, so I don't. Saying all that, going back to, like I said, I'm not anti-vax, but at the same time, when it comes to a situation, if it works, then cool, and if it works for you, then
great.
cool.
Right.
Leave me the hell alone. Stop trying to make me feel bad
Right.
Yep.
because I'm not going along with you.
Right.
I miss the days, and maybe I'm naive and ignorant, but I remember back in, I don't know, the 90s when, we were a kid and teenager, and you didn't have that. It was cool to be different. The more different you were, the cooler you were.
Yeah. No, everybody has to fit in now.
Everything is all tribalistic now. You have to fit in this group, and what's worse is you're blanketed in, and if you don't fit it exactly, then you're kicked out.
Well, the idea of what an appropriate parent is.
Right.
Yeah. Right. You have to be an appropriate parent in order to keep children.
Have to be perfect.
You have to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's like who defines that appropriateness? We
CPS.
all have we know that.
What
but
is the
it's just
perfection mark, though? What are we looking
What
at?
do you want? What does appropriate parenting look like? And that was like a question with me. Because it was like, I had so many families that were like, and I'm not saying it because it was me, but it was so many families that I dealt with in my head, and I dealt with just I'm meeting you where you are.
Yeah.
And I had so many families to say, oh, I'm glad I got you as a social worker. I'm glad I
Yeah.
got you. But then on the flip side of that, it's just like, But I'm not supposed to be your friend.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was going to bring up one real fast, but we're going to have to take a break in a second. But spanking,
Oh,
Yeah.
how many times did that kind of become an issue?
Yeah,
Like,
a lot.
Yeah.
we're going to get more on this on the other side. But right now, our this whole thing has been brought to you by AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
Oh, AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
Yes, yes. Historically great coffee, guaranteed to make you swallow every single time you put it into your mouth. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Go to Mojo 5. Is that enough? Please, thank you.
Yeah, no. No, it's
Go to
good.
Mojo50.com. Those are the guys who, for some weird reason, keep us on here.
I have no idea why.
Check out all the other awesome hosts and shows, guys who actually prep and know what the hell's going on in advance.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. Weird.
Huh?
I know. Weird.
Sorry.
Mojo50.com. Follow us on all the social medias at DOAE Show. Go to the news Facebook page, Defenders Live Radio Show. We got a whole other hour.
We got
Operation
Stop CPS.
Stop PBS is going to hang out with us again.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
There's that first hour right there. It gonna go.
That was quick.
It does. It goes by fast.
That's what happens.
And part of it's, honestly, it's the tangents.
Sorry. We apologize.
happens. Apologize.
This is exactly how our show works every time.
It's
Like we told you, we have stories that
Yeah,
we do the
that.
stories.
We
And
got stories.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 7 stories here. We're probably not going to hit anywhere close to 7 stories in an hour.
I have them up there, right?
Yeah.
I just have them just in case we run out of things to talk about,
There you go.
which is highly unlikely.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, this time we got through 3.
Right.
Heck, he doesn't even know half the stories up here yet. And
No.
that's the best.
Now, don't be giving away our prepping.
Oh no, this is the best part. So I prep because normally what's going on is he's dealing with the family that he has before he comes up here and everything else. He's trying
Well,
to get
and-
everybody fed and everything else.
To be fair, and I'm not hitting the button.
No, don't
to be
hit the ball,
fair, at the current job we have, we work actually opposite shifts.
Right.
They got us on a 3-4-4-3. So when I'm
So-
working, he's off, and when he's working, I'm off.
But
So-
usually, like I can be here and I can prep from
yeah, he's
here.
also 20-30 minutes down the road. I'm not. I'm like
yeah,
an
yeah.
hour.
So I can set everything up. I can get everything because I'm not driving 35
hour.
minutes to an hour to come back up here.
Right.
And so I get to prep all the stories and everything else. Sometimes I don't let him see the stories before we start. Sometimes. Most of the time, I let him at least read the title. And then I just let him stew until we get to it. And it's amazing.
There you go.
That's why I have a tumor.
That's exactly why. It's exactly
Because
why.
I'll read something, and I'm like, wait, what? And he'll go, no.
Nay, nay.
We're moving on. And I'm like, but. And he's like, nope, save it for the show. I'm like, damn it.
That's how we work it.
I got yeah.
And so then I start getting PTSD before we even get to the article now because I see it going down and I'm like,
It's coming up. It's coming up. And then sometimes I'll switch it over and just pull it up in front of him. He's like, oh!
yeah. And what makes it worse is I have ADHD, which I used to have under control. I don't know if, because I'm getting older, if it's starting to become an issue or not. And I had a very bad experience with the medication. What was not described during that low point is I had been on medication. I was repoing cars, working 20 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I even went to the doc and I'm like, Doc, I'm taking this as it says every, 2 to 4 hours, whatever as needed. I'm like, are you sure this is okay? He's like, oh yeah, no, we'll even give you a time release one. So that way you can take that throughout the day. And then you just take the little ones as you go. And so as I'm working, I'm taking it. And then like the day or day and a half I'm off, I didn't take anything. So I'm taking really large volume and I'm crashing. And all it was really basically a low dose of speed. So what I didn't realize was I was abusing and ODing on a narcotic.
Right.
And when I lost my job,
He could no longer afford to
have
do
the stuff. So I crashed and crashed. Bad. So all that said, to be like, I knowing and realizing that it's starting to be an issue now, I'm trying to find anything other than that. I'm not working those hours, but I don't really want to slip back into that.
Right. Exactly.
So
But at the same point in time, he also doesn't want his ADHD to really overpower his entire system.
and it does. There's a lot of times where and everybody else is like, oh, it was a great show, and I'm like, because there's times where when my brain runs literally way faster than my mouth. So I'll have a great,
Which is funny because his mouth runs pretty fast.
yeah. Like I will
all
have,
the time.
I will have a perfect thing to say, a perfect thing. And
Speaking of, we got
yeah,
time.
I know.
We're on time.
I know.
Yeah.
Hit the button.
I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I get up when I'm bleeding. Ready, breathing. I'll never back down.
This is the collision of common sense and comedy. This is Defenders Live.
Wow, what?
The Twitter's not being nice to me tonight.
Well, Twitter's not being nice to most people, but that's
No,
fine.
I know. I don't know what I did to
What did you do?
instigate this. Knights Who Say Knee on Twitter, committed, ain't married. But to be fair, and I'm not ahead. Okay, go ahead.
To be fair.
Sorry, you can't hear it. I apologize. This is what happens when
I
you
was
have
talking.
conversation. To be fair,
To be fair,
that's how long the sounder
it's
is.
how long this. You'll like it when you watch it again. But it to be fair, I'm pretty sure you apply your stuff to her.
Oh,
That's it was a joke and a joke.
it's a really bad joke and a
B
joke
from
and
the
a joke.
SAV. Dylan never left his house, but he sure went outside to eat.
And he has the.
Some guy chewing on.
It's a
wood.
guy dressed up in a bug outfit chewing
Is it
on
a-
a stick.
Yeah,
It's
I don't.
chewing on a branch. It's hilarious.
I'm very the Knights Who Also Say Knee. An appropriate parents drinks which is APR
coffee.
If you never tried it, it's AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Oblivion Flickering on Twitter. Now that you mention it, Dylan looks rather pale tonight. He reminds me of either Nosferatu or a corpse on CSI.
Which one, Miami or?
No, not Miami, because they tan down there.
Oh, that's
It
depends on which one.
It's the sun. It's all about the sun.
It
and
could have been in the
glasses.
shade.
No.
What?
No.
What?
Anyway. So we were joined by Operation Stop CPS. The ladies that hang out with over here or started that, or for some weird reason they're still hanging out.
I have no idea.
We haven't chased them
having a good
away.
time. We're having a
So
good
Like we haven't scared them enough yet.
we still have another hour.
We work
That's
for
true.
CPS. We don't get
So speaking of being scared, there's some polls out there recently.
Ew.
Not those.
Oh, okay, good. That's there is a poll. A recent episode of the Rubin Report. There was a poll that was put out by Pew Survey that shows that 50% of white liberal women under the age of 30 reported that a doctor or other healthcare professional has diagnosed them with a mental health condition.
Any mental health condition.
Just let that marinate
I'm
for
just-
a moment.
just let it sit there.
Because again, everyone is thinking of someone.
You know somebody that has this.
You or someone you love.
Do you or a
mentally
loved one?
diagnosed with a mental condition.
You or a loved one have mental health conditions.
You suffer from the diabetes.
Shut up, Walter.
Wasn't Walter? No.
Walter Rowley? Giant
You're right.
walrus of a man.
You're right.
Thank
You're
you.
right. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I apologize.
All
I stand
right.
corrected.
All right.
I was thinking of someone else.
You were, weren't you?
I was. No, it's Wilford.
Wilford
It
Brimley?
was Wilford. Brimley,
yeah,
not
that's a good.
Walter. I knew you
I
were
knew
wrong.
there was a double. There was a
Wilford
W.
Brimley.
It was a Brimley, though.
The guy who had diabetes and beat his wife and couldn't understand why she was still around.
Right. Speaking of CBS.
Speaking of CPS. Well, that's it.
That's really it.
You did-
Unless you wanted to do the video, which I don't want to do.
I don't want to do because we're not promoting that.
Yeah, we
It's
can
nothing
go
against him.
right
but
here,
Yeah, let's
yeah.
do the results.
Yeah.
Because I want to see this. Because officially from Pew, as he scrolls to find.
There you go.
Yeah, I know.
There you
For whatever reason, we're not talking about the risk of mental illness women in general facing, especially compared to men. Women are 40% more likely to develop depression than men.
Duh.
Okay.
Women are more in touch with their emotions than men.
Yeah. Due to lower levels of serotonin, we are also more likely, women are more likely, this is written by a woman, more likely to have anxiety and depression because of that deficiency. There's also certain life experiences like childbirth, for example, which lead to this diagnosis. 1 in 7 women will be diagnosed with postpartum depression a year after the child is born. Postpartum depression is a particular condition that leaves a victim feeling powerless and without confidence or assurance of their own abilities as a mom or a caregiver.
And sometimes kill the kids.
That's a different conditions.
Not really.
Well, but
Postpartum.
I know.
It's scary.
Okay.
It's scary. Now, I want to kind of side note here for just a second here. Okay, so this is talking about the fact that women have they have lower serotonin and all the rest of it, and so 40% higher likelihood of being diagnosed with depression. Mm-hmm. That's also because men don't go to doctors.
Right.
That's true too.
We have something wrong with us, we don't go to the doctor.
I even threaten my children with it, which again, CPS, they'll want to do something, and my answer to them is you could do it, but we're not going to the hospital. That's my answer to them for everything.
That's
I will handle it. Daddy's got a needle and thread. I'm not scared.
We'll figure it out.
Mom can sew, and I'm pretty good at this.
I can make a splint. We can pop it back in play. We're fine. I got a little bit of field training. We're okay.
I know how to cauterize the wound. It's all fine.
Yeah, you may not be having fun, but
Don't they say when mom comes home and the child's left with dad all day? Who knows what happens?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. The study, which examined white liberals, moderates, and conservatives, both male and female, found that conservatives are far less likely to be diagnosed with mental illness issues than those who identified as either liberal or even very liberal. What's more, white women suffered the worst of all. White women ages 18 to 29 who identified as liberal were given,
current millennial group.
Pretty much, were given a mental health diagnosis from medical professionals at a rate of 56.3%. as compared to 28.4% for moderates and 27.3% for conservatives.
I couldn't tell, Trigglypuff.
Well, I was gonna say, think about it. Like when you
Do you guys know what Trigglypuff is?
That's a funny.
Oh, boy.
Bless her heart. We'll have to show you that video later.
Bless that lady's heart.
It's one of those poor, unfortunate people who, again, bless her heart, was very passionate about what she believed, but however has been turned into a meme.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
She was very, very upset with what things happened.
And it's again, bless her heart. Anyway, but if you think about it, again, it makes perfect sense. When you're living in this, a lot of the generations nowadays, everybody, you're taught that there's always a everywhere you turn, there's something wrong with somebody. Nobody is who they are portraying to be. You always have to look out for not what they do, but what you think their intent is of what they're doing. You know what I mean?
That's the biggest issue that we have to deal with.
It's a white guy. Yeah, it's a white guy. Automatically racist. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It's got to be racist. Doesn't matter. And
Don't y'all know?
Yeah. There's a
We're
laundry.
racist.
I know, yeah. By the way, that again, why y'all are still here. No, I'm kidding.
We still don't understand why you're here.
But that's how it is. Everything is all about intent. And you don't know what's in a person's heart. And we still try to figure it out. We're trying to live out Minority Report, I think.
I think so.
In a really weird kind of a way where it's preventative. It's, well, you did this, so we can assume all of this other stuff.
Well, how about I did this, so you can assume that I did that?
Yeah, but I was
like the same thing that I just did.
That is it, right.
That's all you can assume about me at this point.
Why does the assumptions always have to go to the negative?
Right.
And that's where we're at. And that's where a lot of these people are. Bless their hearts.
Why can't you assume that was just a mistake?
Well, because everybody's taking on everybody else's problems instead of taking care of their own.
Yes, exactly.
But why would I ever fix myself when I can fix so many other
It's hard to fix me.
Why would I look in the mirror? I don't want to
Do you know how easy it is for me to tell you what you need to do with your life?
Right.
Yeah.
It's simple. My life is so complicated.
I'm just
It's
waiting.
so
I'm just waiting for the Michael Jackson to come up. Man in the mirror. I'm just waiting for it to pop up on me.
Somebody's going to do it, I promise.
That's all I'm waiting for.
I promise. But it's so irritating that's where we're at, that everybody is got, and especially again if you think about it, white liberal women are always taught that there's all of these problems in every situation. There's all of these little things. Either, you go back to, Civil War racism and that kind of thing, or you go into the fact that, well, every man is out to get you, or just all of these little things. And not for a moment does anybody go, I don't live in that situation. You know what I mean? Doesn't it not to poo-poo it and say it doesn't exist, but it doesn't pertain to me. So why am I worrying about it?
Yeah.
That's the part that kills me. But anyway,
That's a side note.
that's a minor little thing.
Little tiny things. Yeah.
Let's see. Is it truly unfortunate that so many women are facing these kinds of issues? And that this is a prevalence of mental illness among the progressive women might be being weaponized for political purposes.
No.
Well, if you think about it, I would argue, and we haven't had this conversation with you guys directly, but we've had this discussion. Steve and I have come up. That's the whole stigma, the whole thing when it comes to the whole racism thing. You had this group that no one can argue was marginalized, was enslaved, was mistreated. This particular group. I'm not talking about everybody can throw, everybody did. And it's true. There were other slaves besides just black folks. Okay. But in this particular situation in America, black folks were
most prevalent?
The most prevalent. And it was the biggest issue. Okay. And then you had the Civil War and everything went fine. Excuse me.
No.
And well, I tried. And then you have this situation where obviously there are people who still held on to things. They didn't like how it was going to be. That's why you had the Black Wall Street that got massacred and all of that stuff. People don't ever talk about that kind of stuff. And then it goes on, and there's been these underlying little thorns that have been done throughout the years, and it's done by politics and by politicians, going back to Woodrow Wilson, the guy who arguably refounded the KKK.
Well, that's not even arguably, dude.
Well, I'm saying he didn't found it,
Yeah,
but
but
he
reset it up.
He reset it up. Birth of a
set it back
Nation
up
and all
into
of that
prevalence,
jazz. And once you start having this group that you can kind of go, hey, you were picked on. You were slighted, and you put this in this beautiful little box. Well, I'm trying to help you. If you elect me, if you do this, I will help you. Instead of, again, treating people and meeting people where they're at on an individual level, they've taken advantage of a group of people and has caused what I would say to get us to this point where everything is deemed now as racist.
Right.
Because they just keep throwing these little things because
Or
it's long,
sexist.
or sexist or whatever. That's what I'm saying. Now we've moved on to sexist and transgenderist and all this other stuff. Now it's isms. They figured out that they can just throw these little things in there and everybody's got a problem now and everybody fights. And that's where we're at. And it just...
And even though you have mental health issues for that side, specifically that side, how soon would something like CPS hit and say, oh, so you have the isms?
Yeah, you have this ism or that ism or
You have the isms.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they use what they can see.
Right. It's
to
like,
start judging you
oh,
before
so
they
you
talk to
have,
you.
you believe in this and this and this, so you must be a this.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Or I went in your home and I saw, oh, so they must be this.
There was a Bible
book.
on the counter, so you must be a fanatic.
Yeah.
You must beat your children regularly with a cropping whip.
I saw a book by Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah. I can imagine every little thing. And
it was the one for the kids.
how dare they learn history?
How dare you?
Right.
How dare you teach kids actual history?
We don't have freedom of thought.
No.
But everybody wants to just keep talking about the problem instead of solution.
Exactly.
No.
God, I love you guys. Y'all are awesome.
When are we going to get to the solutions?
Exactly.
We can't. I mean, we have to say that yes, our history is what it is.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
We're in this.
What do we
place.
do from
What do we do now?
forward? Yeah.
Right. How do we come together?
We
to
all
figure
agree
this
there was a
out?
problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, there was a problem.
Right.
Yep.
Right. It's a problem.
What are you doing to fix it for yourself?
Right.
What are you doing it to fixing it for others too? How are you
That part.
being an example? Because that's the other fun part is nobody wants to do anything. I'll wait for someone else to do it.
Yeah.
When somebody else does it, I'll do it. That
Or-
goes back to not having the spine.
Or they don't actually do it.
Yeah.
But they make sure and point out that they did it.
They did it.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Virtue signaling.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I hate this.
They put everything out on the internet or they show up and take pictures.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
But what are you doing on the ground? And that's what we're trying to. We're trying
Yep.
to get on the ground and help people actually fight back.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny, yeah, because that's one reason why we got to this, because I think because we came up with the solution, trying to come
Yeah.
up with the solution, and people want to take credit
Yeah.
Yeah.
for something
Yeah.
that and it's just like, no, you were with us and
Yeah.
you were supposed to let us know what you were going to do,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, now we're upset with you because you were supposed to follow this tactic and
Yep.
you didn't.
You didn't fit the
You have a spine and we don't like
Yeah,
spines.
you didn't follow the operating procedure. You
He said
did.
Operation Stop CPS.
Yeah, I know. No, you didn't follow
the procedure,
You didn't
yeah.
follow them, and that's why your life is in a shithole.
That's the problem that you're gonna have now.
But it is you. How dare you think outside of what the OP says? You are supposed to do as you're told when you're told. You're not smart enough to think for yourself. You're not smart enough to be able to act. You don't know better. We do.
Right.
You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. And gosh darn it, people hate you.
Right. And we're tired. And so that's our thing is we're not gonna listen to that anymore. Right?
Right.
We're done.
Yeah.
We're done listening to people tell us just because of what we look like, we're not. You know what?
That doesn't mean anything.
Huh?
That means nothing.
Like,
Well, I mean,
and
okay,
I
so
think that's the conversation that needs to be had.
You're
and I
right.
mean,
Right?
talking about people that look different. I mean, we have a slug that follows us. Not that
We do.
complex slug over there on the Twitters. My library has a holy texts from dozens of different faiths. What does that make me? A slug.
A free-thinking slug who needs to be
well-informed
careful
slug.
because the government will come with its salt.
A good thing that you do not have the CPSs on you.
Yeah, get out of
Yes.
Portland. That's all I'm telling you. Get out of
They,
Portland.
they come with the rock salts.
They do. They do. Adam W. Johnson on Twitter as well. My mom lived in a nursing home for from the age of 42 until she died last year. The reason was paranoid schizophrenic. Even called the FBI on my dad and told him he was the son of Sam Killer. Wow.
Spit cray cray. Okay.
Well, I mean, but that's the kind of stuff that it's really weird how it kind of, and I'm using this as kind of a reference point, but it's amazing how somebody else can say something about someone else. Case in point about CPS.
Right.
Going back to, as we mentioned before we went to the break, spanking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like if you breathe that you lay your hand on a child to CPS, forget the reasons, forget your criteria, forget all of this stuff. You mention that, check mark. They're looking for it. And I knew I had a run-in with CPS not too long ago.
No.
I did.
No.
I did.
Actually, yeah, you did.
I did.
I remember this.
I did.
He was
and it was,
worried.
and I actually,
He was concerned.
I was concerned because I'm thinking like, bad situation at the time. But it's all, praise God and hallelujah, it's all fixed. And it was actually a decent experience. But I did. I came out and told her point blank. I'm like, yes, ma'am, I spanked my kids. I'm not gonna lie about it because again, it's one of those. There's a point you have to start standing up for what you believe in. Right. Now, I don't haul off and beat my kids. I don't. I threaten to. I don't. They may think I will, but I don't. Yeah. As long as they think I do, that's all that matters.
That's emotional damage.
Yeah,
That can heal over time.
That can.
Don't let them cry while you do it.
Exactly.
Just let them be afraid.
But I
very afraid.
I knew the risk of telling this woman this. I knew it, but I'm like, what? Well, I mean, I'm not gonna, because that was a part of the whole situation. Is it would been brought to their attention that apparently, due to certain photographs that were taken out of context, it appeared that maybe I was a little too heavy-handed.
Look at this
You're giving
photograph.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
You're using a lot of like CPS words.
Right.
It appeared. It was triggered.
I told you,
Heavy-handed,
I've
you
been
know?
in the system. I know, like this is not, but it was one of those. I'm like, God's gonna take care of this one way or another. So I'm gonna be honest, and like I said, it worked out great. But you
never know who's going to
you never know who that exactly.
That's the problem.
You tell the wrong person
Yep.
that it meant
Luckily,
to at
he
one
had
time.
a good
Yes,
person.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's becoming.
that's a rarity.
That's rare.
That's a
nowadays.
rarity.
It's becoming rare.
Either that or on the scorecard, I only had that one check off, and the rest were fine.
Right.
Either way.
He came off as okay after that. It's just, he just sometimes whoops them. Okay.
The family in the guide, he was actually just wrestling.
Yeah,
with his
you
son. He was wrestling with his son, and they mistaken it as abuse.
Again, but that's because somebody else said it from the outside.
Someone else thought that a man wrestling with his son, just doing normal stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I read it and I was like, this is wrestling. But
Yeah.
I guess the person that took the report couldn't say it was wrestling.
Okay.
It's like, did the kid go to the hospital?
No.
See,
He was
like,
perfectly fine when the worker went out there.
like that's what I'm talking about. Like, what are
Okay.
you doing? Like, I understand if the kid goes to the hospital.
Nope.
I would understand if that had happened. You kind of have a little moment of, okay,
Was it just wrestling
okay,
at that
no,
point?
that's fine, but you kind of note it.
Uh-huh.
That's what you should do, but they don't ever do that. It's,
Nope.
and like you said, there's that score sheet.
Law enforcement showed up at his house, knocking on his door. He was just at the house watching TV.
I was gonna say, and it's never a convenient time either.
No.
Wife
They
was
show.
sleeping. She was, and she was
works
third shift.
third shift, and then
And
they
then boom,
had
boom,
them
boom.
out in the rain,
Yeah, waiting for their child to be interviewed.
for their child to
Wow.
be interviewed by
See?
CPS.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, but it was eczema that they thought was a bruise.
Eczema.
Wow, yeah, because those look totally the same thing.
My kids have eczema.
That's like
Not all,
Watch it.
not all of them. I'm just, well, no, it's just like that.
that's like assuming somebody's drunk just because they have rosacea.
Right.
That's like your cheeks are red. You must have been drinking a lot. Are you flush? No,
No,
I'm.
rosacea.
issue.
But
Skin
it's
issue.
just all in how the person who makes the report, what they say. And that has to stop.
Yeah.
That report has so much power, and people don't understand how much power you give the government when you call.
Yep.
Just know your facts. We're not telling, hey, if you think a child is unsafe, call.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know that they're unsafe,
Yeah.
you need
Yeah.
to ask some more questions.
Right.
You need to ask some more questions.
Because the key is the government, CPS, local government has too much power.
Yes.
Too much authority. They can investigate and insinuate stuff too far.
Yep.
Too far.
And
And
it's
then
just,
you have to think about the kids that are impacted from this, because the kid that's in a guide, he's traumatized and going to school. Like he doesn't know, because this happened at school and they just pulled him.
Yeah.
So he's fearful of going back to school, and he says that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna be taken from my parents. So we look at it from a standpoint of, oh, all these kids are being abused. But you're not looking at it from a standpoint of all these kids that are being affected. That nothing happened.
this is,
Okay.
you know
all
what
right.
another good example of
So
this
maybe
is?
there are a bunch of kids being abused. I'm pretty sure there are.
right.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Seen
Right.
some.
I've
But-
seen it.
Seen some.
But out of those cases, okay, so you have, I don't know, 500,000 cases or whatever. Out of those cases, actual abuse, 1,000.
Yeah.
The rest,
Well, actually, for the law, because see, you got the law.
Yeah.
And then you have
Their definition.
policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
spanking or
reality.
actual
Right,
beatings.
reality.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Right,
realities.
right.
Realities, 1,000. How many kids are actually affected? 200,000 out of the 500,000. Okay, that's not good.
Yeah, this is the same thing. This is along the same lines when it comes to the whole rape thing. When you have some of these people
That
and it
claim
was
rape on a
rampant,
bunch of stupid
yeah,
stuff.
it was rampant in the colleges for a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
for sure. Every time you turn around, some lady was like accusing somebody of rape, and it's
Or
like,
an entire fraternity.
or or a lacrosse team.
Or a
Anyway,
lacrosse
I'm sorry.
team.
I'm going way back now.
Yeah, but it's still, they are
is
still, those people that were called out for the lacrosse team, they're still marked for life.
Well, even worse.
Yeah.
Even worse. But I don't know if anybody paid attention to afterwards. So I think she passed away not too long ago, a couple years ago.
What, the lady?
Yeah.
No.
She was accused of murder for sure. She killed her
Oh, yeah,
boyfriend.
she killed her boyfriend, but they
She
just,
stabbed the snot out
she
of him.
did. They
No, I
just
thought she
made
died though.
No, she
She
didn't.
didn't?
She tried to appeal it.
That's-
so,
okay.
Yeah, she tried to appeal it. So they had her. I looked at it the other week, but
Okay, no, they were so good.
they made a TV series on AME.
Okay.
And so so they have the lacrosse and they have where she stabbed her, because he actually lived like for a week.
Oh, yeah.
And he was able to tell it, and then
And then he died.
He died.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
but that's the thing.
you get your just desserts then, all right?
Even after it, I mean, not just proven at the time, later on when the court was going on and the original case was going with the lacrosse team, but even the years afterwards where she is proven that she crazy. She was nuts. A couple screws loose, God bless her, but she's woof. The guys are still not vindicated. They're still marked.
Yeah.
That kind of damage
They
is
still
done.
have it on their record.
And that kind of stuff, when you start accusing people of anything and you take it to a government level, that's what you end up with. You are marked,
Yep.
accurate or not, truthful or not, that will carry with you for the rest of your life.
Nights You Say D over on the Twitters. Don't forget, you can't be nominated for the Supreme Court without being accused of rape.
That's true. Most of them here lately have been, all of them.
Accused of rape, molestation,
Or blackface.
or blackface.
Or blackface.
Or blackface.
Good for them. At least,
But only if it's conservative.
oh well.
So what are you gonna do?
At least you have the standard.
Yeah,
At
there's
least
a
it's there.
standard. There's a
At
standard.
least it's there.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta get up in the morning, okay? Jeez. Hey! Congratulations again. Congrats again.
I'm technically there right now.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're getting unemployment.
Yeah.
It's partial. It's not
Not the full thing yet.
It goes back to that whole we're just what's the word I was looking for?
You're asking me?
No, what's the point of part? It's all it is a supplement. It's all it is. So it's not even like good unemployment. It's just supplemental.
It's the fake unemployment.
But it's still something. And so
That fake junk.
it's just stuff that people don't like. Yep, red flag laws.
Yep. I got another one that's gonna right up their alley. I got another story right up your cat's alley. It's gonna be good.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That guy.
I know. But it's good. I know, it's fine. You're fine. You'll get a laugh out of it, I guess.
This is a whole nother avenue that fits in that too.
I've also got this one. Yeah.
What the actual? What the?
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
How the hell?
I'm scared.
That didn't make sense.
Hey, which one should we do that one first?
They said they're gonna say we back and they gone.
Yeah.
This is Defenders Live.
Let's see. Nights You Say Knee over on Twitter. I hope you two are being courteous hosts and have offered your guest a drink. Perhaps something you tried last week, referring to
I did. So
referring to the
hold on.
We
Did.
I didn't. What I did was I said, "Here, you need to smell this."
yeah
Oh,
yeah
that.
yeah that
And besides that, we did offer them a drink, not only coffee but also other beverages.
yeah
They settled for water.
yeah.
No. I had a little.
And a
she
little,
did. I mean,
and
they
a
had a
little
shot,
something,
so.
and a little something, but settled for water. Shy Boy and IA over on the Twitters also says, at DOA show, I got here late. Have you switched to a live audience? Where's Statler and Waldorf? No, actually, we have Operation Stop CPS with us here. Wanted to make sure that everybody get the word out because they just hit the ground running.
I really want to play the old man now.
I know.
We'll do it later.
Yep, at the end of the show.
Maybe. Maybe. Adam W. Johnson on Twitter. Nebraska no longer allows CPS to use the phrase unfounded. They use guilty by conviction, guilty by preponderance of evidence, and or not guilty. When the law changed, they changed every quote unfounded to guilty by preponderance.
Wow.
I almost lost my job over that.
Wow.
Mm.
But why is that allowed?
It shouldn't be.
I can tell you why it's allowed. You want that answer? The answer, we've been saying it forever on the show. The reason why it is allowed because people don't pay attention at the local level during elections. They're so worried about, well, I need to make sure this president gets in office. Again, yes, your vote counts, but it doesn't count as much as what happens locally. Okay?
Yeah.
The people that run your town, that run your county, that run your state, those are the ones that touch your everyday life. And nobody cares about that. No one does even the littlest bit of research on that. They just kind of go by, oh, this guy's been in office forever. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Name recognition. Okay. You don't know what they stand for. You don't know what they believe in. You don't know what they're trying to do, what they have done.
Right.
And you just kind of willy-nilly throw it in there. And then you complain later about how your life is all crappy and how they're taking your kids or your guns or whatever.
Well, I think everybody's going to start complaining because
Hopefully.
the Family First Prevention Act. It sounds pretty, doesn't it?
It does sound pretty.
Sounds so nice, right? Family first. Family first.
Right, but see, the
Sounds
act,
nice.
the law is going to allow CPS to label your child at risk for foster care just to get help now. Just to get prevention. It's supposed to be the biggest thing to happen to child welfare. The best thing for families. Families First Prevention Act.
Right. So
And now, in
adoption
order to
first.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what?
Plan and all of this just to get help now.
And guess where the triggers are going to start from? I bet you it's going to be stuff like, oh, have you been vaccinated for COVID?
You know what it's not going to be?
I'm telling you, it's going to be stuff like that.
Do you know what it's not going to be?
What is it not going to be?
Police say the Florida homeowner believed his home was under attack during the early hours of Sunday evening when a 26-year-old Michael Williams reportedly drove his 10-year-old son to carry out a drive-by paintball attack on an Opalaga area home. Williams reportedly told investigators that his son begged him to drive to a home where the young people were reportedly gathering on Sunday evening in order for him to fire his paintball gun out of the window.
Because that's what you do. Nothing like father-son bonding, right? CPS doesn't need to worry about this guy at all.
It is unclear at the time of the reporting whether the child intended to shoot the group of people with his paintball gun that were around, or just the house itself.
Somebody didn't get invited to a party and he was a little bitter. That's all that was.
10-year-old was upset. Williams told the police that he complied with the son's wishes.
Because that's what you do is you just let this kid make
And
a
he
decision.
went to the house, drove by it, where his son reportedly fired off several rounds of his paintball gun.
Okay.
Homeowners who remained unnamed at the time of the reporting said that he believed his home was under attack.
It was.
Direct attack.
It was.
Correct.
It was.
In response, he returned fire.
With a real gun.
With a real gun.
Just one shot. And hit the kid.
Just took a turn.
Right? Now you see what I was over here going like, what? Dun, dun, dun.
According to the Associated Press report, which did not specify whether the boy was inside or outside of the vehicle when he was reportedly firing the paintball gun toward the house, the boy then lost his balance, fell over, and was run over by his father's vehicle.
It's not a good night for this kid. Like one bad decision after another. Is this Lemony Snicket's unfortunate series of unfortunate events?
Yeah,
That's what
the
this is.
father was then said to have grabbed the child and drive him home, where his mother reportedly called emergency services.
Because that's what you do. Is what do you think if you take your kid home? Go, I don't know. I just found him in his bed this way.
We were just
That's-
going to
that's
paintball.
That's not tire tracks over his leg.
What is he trying to think that Freddy Krueger's alive? And
Right.
whatever happens in your dream happens in real life.
That's right.
He was ran over,
Gunshot wound?
gunshot, and ran over.
And that's funny because it's just like with this, these are the case when you sit here and you're like, what? This is when CPS should be called.
Yes!
So this is where you should measure this.
This
if you're not sitting here like, what the hell?
So
Here's the water line, folks.
there's the line that Stop CPS said you should call CPS.
Yeah.
A little, you're spanking, hey, I don't
Nah,
think it means a lot.
It's fine. Your kid gets shot because you decide that it's a good idea to take your kid on a drive-by?
Even with a paintball and then run him over?
Yeah.
By
And then
accident?
take him home?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's all good.
It's fine.
I don't see what
no
the problem with this at all.
It's not a problem, right?
Wow.
This is
I gotta look that up. Right? I need to know some more.
it's just like
You need more to the story.
I'm confused.
Just so you guys know, if you ever want to hear any terrible stories, just look up Florida.
yeah, you're gonna find a lot of good
Yeah.
Florida
Oh,
stories.
yeah.
Florida man stories are pretty prevalent, and yeah.
Going back to Adam W. Johnson real fast. For what it's worth, I got the governor's office involved in my first dealing with CPS concerning the child support, and for the one I just mentioned, I got a state senator involved.
Okay.
So
Apparently, he don't play no games.
Yeah, he don't
keep
play.
Calling.
Yeah.
You have to keep calling and keep until somebody answers.
Yep.
That's what we try to teach people. Call.
yeah. Well,
Don't take no for an answer.
Again, if you
Keep going up.
if
Keep
you
going
paid if you paid as much attention, again, and not saying that he wasn't, but I mean, this is where, again, when we say pay attention at local, who the hell is your dog catcher? Like, nobody wants to think about that, but when your dogs suddenly start getting disappeared, I don't know, and I know it's, again, have you ever seen the documentary Beethoven?
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
With the St. Bernard, and they
Yes.
were kidnapping dogs all over town.
Yeah.
Okay. Side note. When
It's a
we say documentary,
It's not a movie. It's a documentary. It's a true to life documentary.
it's like, have you seen the documentary?
Documentary.
It's like, have you seen the documentary The Matrix? It was good, right?
Yeah, everything's a documentary.
Right.
And that's the same concept. Like you never know who's like stealing your dogs and selling them to a Chinese restaurant or something like that.
Right.
You never.
101 Dalmatians, very good documentary.
It is.
Yep.
It is. That's the kind of stuff you need to pay attention to, because those little things can change. And it's, again, dog catcher stuff. I don't know if they have that ability to make the rules, but those are the ones that do the whole. You have to have a leash. You have to do this, and you have to have, how long is the leash? Is this leash appropriate? All of those goofy little things. And you walk out of your house with your dog going, no, it's cool. It's me and my dog, and he's fine. As your dog gets taken away and you're fined.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yep. Or like a mom shows up to the hospital and has her child ripped out of her arm.
Arms. Yes. It's
For
the
no reason.
little
For
things.
no reason.
But the worker brought the car seat.
Right.
To
She
the-
said, well,
yeah.
she said, you're not leaving here with your child.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry,
I
that's
had the
stupid.
car seat.
I'm telling you,
Stupid.
somebody ever told me I would be in jail. And not
she
the good
would,
jail.
right?
I would have
She
have
went to
been
jail, didn't she?
I'd have been throwing punches. I'd have been and I know that's not the right way, but like I can't.
I was looking at something, I think it's on Animal Planet, but it said a mother turns into an animal when protecting their young.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So
How many times have we heard the stories of like the women like, saving their child by lifting a car and blah 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 blah.
Right.
And you
Right.
tell mom she can't take her baby home.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's gonna.
She may have just spent the last 18 hours trying to give birth to that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell her that she can't.
She's gonna
But
pull this.
then she asks us like, you never told me why you. Oh yes, I did. When you were handcuffed on the bed, I told you.
Yeah.
How do you tell someone that?
That's so, like,
That doesn't
Oh,
sound
I
like
told
so-
you.
yeah, I remember
I told
That
you.
sound like social
Yeah.
work to me.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like social work.
Yeah, usually a proper job, even regardless, would have been like, oh, well, okay, I did tell you, but here it is again.
it is
Not,
again.
I told you then, you didn't listen, not my problem.
Oh, you forgot while you were handcuffed
Yeah.
on the bed.
Too bad.
So insensitive.
All right, so can you repeat it then?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we at. Yeah. Hey, can you just repeat it?
It
Yeah,
does-
can you just- one more
I
again?
wasn't able to comprehend it while I
You know,
was.
the whole being handcuffed thing.
Unless you just took my baby away.
I'm sorry. I was in hysterics, screaming and trying to cut your throat.
Exactly.
I'm
So
dealing with a little bit today. Can you mind just telling me one more again?
I was I just wanted to just break your face, so I didn't hear a word you said. Can you repeat that?
Can you repeat it?
Just one more.
Because parents just want to understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Just want to understand.
It's like, why?
Because they don't want you to understand, because then you'll be able to respond.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
because then you can realize the holes and see the BS for what it is.
It's like when you start asking questions to a 5-year-old who just obviously did something, has like chocolate all over their face and hands and everything else, and you look at them and you're like,
Did you do that?
Did you get into the chocolate?
No.
But you have it on your face.
Do you have chocolate on your
No.
face? No. I don't have. It's
I don't
on
know
your
how
hands.
that got there.
It's on your hands too.
No.
No, there's no chocolate on my hands.
That sounds like CPS. I think. I mean, they might full of chocolate.
And it's not chocolate.
Let's see.
It's not.
So New York City schools have been largely shuttered due to the Wu-Tang Clap, coronavirus. But now that COVID vaccinations are being okayed for adolescents, the city leadership has found
They're not okay.
they're being cleared.
I'm sorry. They're not okay.
They're not okay, but that's why I changed it to being cleared. Okay?
They're not okay.
They're being cleared for the city's leadership has found a new use for the buildings,
For what buildings?
schools.
They found a new use for the schools instead of teaching teaching the kids.
Inoculations.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Mayor Bill de Blasio, a.k.a. Warren Wilhelm III,
which is actually his real name.
announced Wednesday during his daily news briefing that the city will begin a pilot program to administer vaccinations to students at public schools. That is according to the New York Post. Touting that the move will, quote, open up a world of opportunities.
A whole new world.
A whole new world.
Thank you. Thank you.
To reach a lot of young people really quickly.
You could have been louder. It's okay.
By making schools a
We
place
can't
where
sing
kids
either.
get vaccinated. Because that's, again, by making schools a place where kids get vaccinated. Because that's what the job of the school is to
Right.
vaccinate your child.
The school's job is to vaccinate.
And report to the CPS.
The school is to indoctrinate and vaccinate.
Yep.
A school is probably, school's the last place you want to be putting your kids right now. I don't care what anybody says. You can homeschool your kids,
Public
homeschool your
schools
kids.
specifically,
Public
yeah.
schools specifically. But, but if you go back to the one we had yesterday.
Yeah, that was a
the
private
school.
I forced him to watch a video that he just
That they were showing to 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
first graders.
Okay, it went just beyond, very clearly beyond just anatomy. Even telling children about how it's okay to touch yourself privately and blah, blah, blah.
But if you did that at home,
That's what I did. I said the same thing.
Oh no! That's the funny thing because this is a YouTube channel specifically made to teach kids.
Yes. But again, if I had been even saying the same thing, I'm grooming a child.
correct, correct.
So
And
what's
that
the
was
difference? And it's
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Well, this is
No, because did you sign a form? They probably signed a form
No.
to get consent.
oh, I don't know.
No.
It's a YouTube video.
it's a private school that did this. They pay $50,000 a year to have their kids go to this school.
The Dalton School in New York. Dalton.
Again,
You
if
know.
you were doing it and it was your child in your home.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
You
not
would-
appropriate.
That's
That's no longer appropriate.
And
Right.
then they wonder why people homeschool their children. But that's even a report now because it's like, okay, have you?
Are they
had the
socializing enough?
Yeah. Have you had the proper documentation, the test? Like we have to go.
I hate those things because I was homeschooled my entire life. From beginning
And now you
in the
know
state
why.
of North Carolina. Well, at the time, my parents were just honestly were way overprotective in that area. Looking back, I'm thankful that they were. I would homeschool my boys if I could, but obviously I don't have full custody and all that jazz, so I can't do that. The girlfriend's daughters are being homeschooled. It's just one of those things. It's like, I don't want my kids and anybody else's kids being in school because they don't teach what you need.
Reading, writing,
Yeah,
arithmetic.
it's nothing about that now.
They
It's
don't.
it's
They don't.
it's
Oh,
it's
this new math. I don't even understand
yeah.
what this
yeah.
is.
That's what I'm saying. They teach you what to think, not how to think. They're in brainwashing these kids. You know, they're doing the critical race theory stuff. They're talking about it's okay to you know, again with the sexuality stuff of it. You know, they're even trying to convince kids to be transgender in a lot of instances.
Dylan.
There's all these things that they're doing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Dylan.
nope,
Yeah.
not my pig, not
Looks
my farm.
looks like you're gonna have another visit from CPS
Why is that?
because
Because why?
you're espousing your whiteism.
Oh, I know.
That ism.
I know. That's fine. Honestly, the fact that I have my kids as much as I do to me is an actual shock because I know I've seen it. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've grown up seeing how swift and merciless the hand of CPS can be.
Oh yeah.
And it is one of those. It's like 1 minute everything's fine, and the next minute your kids are gone, and you're lucky if you get a once a month,
Visit or-
supervised visitation.
Yep. 2-day-old baby. She saw. Well, he's 15 days old right now, Zephaniah, and she's seen him one time.
15 days.
And she was breastfeeding before they took this child from the house.
I'd be
And
killing
she
people.
They just showed up with a car seat and saying, I'm coming, like no drugs in her system, no reports of mental health issues. She had mental health issues before,
Yeah.
but up to date, it was at the
She had a history of.
yeah.
I mean,
And the
everybody has
hospital,
one.
and the hospital.
Well, but I mean,
was
since
about
all
to
that, she
release
had a
her.
good history. She was
Yeah.
showing
Yeah.
progress that things were
Yeah.
better.
She has documentation.
Yeah.
From so many people that contest to her character, and we, as a system, well, not we. Woo.
That system.
That system.
There you go.
We're trying to stop that one.
Remember, you're no longer part of it.
Yes.
Oh, it feels so good.
It feels good.
It just takes a while to get used to.
Yes. Woo.
Yeah.
But yeah, that system
Fails.
just failed.
Because it's not about taking care of the kids.
It's not.
It's about the money.
It's a number. It's a number, and it's money, and it's kids are tied to money now.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to, make this glam thing, just like we said with the family first. Oh, that sounds pretty.
Yep.
Oh, and
Until you
yeah.
realize it's just another vacuum
Yes,
for
please
money.
read it. Please read. I mean,
It's another funnel for money. It's all. It's
All it is.
all of this is because if CPS, which I argue is getting obviously paid by taxes and everything else, we're paying them by taxes
Yep.
to do this, to take our children. And then again, the children are put into the system, which requires more taxes
Yep.
to be paid on. The lawyers, again, doesn't matter which side of the fence that they're on because they're going to get paid whether by the family who's trying to handle it or the courts. And either way, they're getting paid. They're not going to say nothing.
They don't care.
And the kid just floats around in the system for a while, as whether they go into foster care, whether they go, that's something that still gets paid for. There's whether they go into actual adoption in an orphanage, whether they get to go back to the family, then the family scrutinized. There's all these little trails. It lasts forever
Yeah.
because they can. And we just sit back and go, well, no, they must know better than us because they went to college.
It's kind of the problem.
That is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That is the problem right there. And again, I mean, I know this is, we're having a good time, but today, this mom sits at her home right now by herself without her child.
That would my heart breaks. Is like I've been just to get a little emotional for a moment. I had wanted to be a dad since I was 16 years old. Like I can't just even now, and like I said, thank God that things are. I have a much better situation as far as being than most other guys in my situation are. Way better. I get to have my kids every week, almost half. There is. You don't hear about that, especially around here.
Right.
So I'm thankful for that, but still, like I would, there isn't anything I wouldn't do to have them permanently with me. And the thought when I had that brush with CPS that I was going to lose them, like I've turned down work. Like he'll tell you, I have turned down jobs.
He has.
Good jobs because I would not be around my kids more, than what I am.
Right.
I cannot imagine. I can't really try and dwell on this mother too much in my brain because it will make me very emotional. Kids it's just something it's always been something very close to my heart. And I cannot imagine. I just want to find this mom and be like, I'm so sorry. I'm hug her and be like, I'm going to go kick your asses. I'll handle it. Just cry for a minute. That's all I want to do. Like, it breaks my heart that this stuff is going, because I could not imagine. I would either literally go berserk and be in jail for years for the damage that I would do, or I would break down and die, like literally.
But
I
that's
couldn't.
what they expect parents to do
I know.
too.
I know.
That's what it's like.
That's-
They expect parents to either go crazy or break down.
And they don't have, and that's where the joy of this guide comes in, is you can be prepared. So yes, the emotions are going to be there, but
we
you
talked
can
about
go,
that.
woosah, remember your pressure points,
Yes,
and answer the right questions, and at least wait until they leave, then break down.
It says it in it. It says your feelings have no place in here.
No.
You got to take your feelings out.
In that
Break down
moment,
later.
no feelings. Afterwards, throw stuff, break stuff,
Exactly.
go to a gun range. I don't.
Exactly. Get it out. Get it out.
Get it
Yeah,
out.
but not to them, because that's all they want. At that point, they want a reason to make it worse.
and then you have a mental issue or
Right.
you're unstable.
They can label you.
They can label you. And then, like I said, and then it carries over from there. Then it's not just, well, this is the situation with your children. It's now you can't buy a gun. Now you can't, go to certain places. And it just, all they've got to do is find that little crack to get their foot in. And once it's done, they rip the whole thing wide open.
Right.
And before you know it, you're a complete pariah.
Yep.
And you're just sitting here going,
Trying to put your life back together.
And
Before
again,
they knocked on your door.
yeah. And again, we can go through lists of all of these different people who are, were accused, whether wrongly or mistakenly, whose lives have never been the same.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with just even with CPS. It's in everything.
Everything.
But-
Anything that's a system.
Oh, yes.
Any
Anything.
system.
I agree. See, I wish we could just go to, this is why I live way out in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, no. That's why I answered the door with a gun in my hand 9 times out of 10, because it's usually if I didn't ask you to come over,
My house, right.
or I don't recognize you.
If I don't know that vehicle, you ain't getting in.
Right.
But I've had a guy, well, I had somebody answer the door like that with an AR-15 once.
Did you really?
I did. I was repoing a car in Fayetteville.
Oh, that's your own fault.
I mean, it makes sense. No, not my
That was
fault.
his
That was
own
my
fault.
job.
That's
It was
his
my
fault.
job.
You said the area of Fayetteville. So it's like,
Yeah.
It's
He said-
Fayetteville, yeah.
He said Vietnam, so
Anybody knows Vietnam, you know better.
if you knock on a door, you better be ready.
Yep.
Because there could be anything facing you. when they come.
I mean, I talked him down. I talked him down. Well, because again, that's treat people like people.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
And that's what's missing out of right now out of CPS. You don't.
Well, that's missing in everything.
Anywhere, right?
And I think, and we've talked about this. I think that this whole COVID thing is just making it worse. I mean, we already had a bad enough issue with when you have social medias. We don't talk to people. We don't sit here and have the nerve to look somebody in the face and say, I don't agree with you.
Right.
Meh. We have to come behind the screen and we have to say something derogatory. Yeah, we have to be.
We have to type it up.
Yeah.
That's how we got.
And that's the problem. And then you throw in COVID where, oh, well, you have to wear masks and you're 6 feet apart and blah, 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 blah. We've constantly being divided. The greatest thing that anybody could ever do is to get together with somebody and have a conversation that is going to be uncomfortable and go, okay, well, I don't agree with you, but I don't hate you for it. Blah, blah, blah. There's a guy that we know, good friend of the show. Riaz Patel is his name.
Yep. He's a producer out of Hollywood.
He is a producer out of Hollywood. He is a gay liberal Muslim. Okay? By all I know. It's
right? Right?
Okay. And based off of us and our the way we are, we're obviously not gay, we're not liberal, and we're not
Muslim.
We're there's no reason on paper. There's no reason why. Seriously, one of our dearest friends.
He's a great
nicest guy. He had gotten started on this thing where he got tired of he just had this, I don't know, aha moment, and he started actually talking to people. And he still has his feelings, he still has his beliefs, but he's willing to talk. Yeah. And like you said before, the key to everything is you come up with a solution. You try and have, like, if me and him could be the only persons to decide abortion or whatever, how we make that look? And you walk into it knowing that I'm not trying to hurt you.
Right.
I just, based off of my life and my life experiences, this is how I see it. Yeah. Doesn't make it the end all be all, doesn't make it absolutely right.
Right.
It's just how you feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we've got to stop being afraid of our feelings.
Yeah.
We got to stop being afraid of the fact that what we know may not be the whole truth, because it isn't.
Right.
Everybody's experiences is different, and we need to be able to take those and go, okay, and adjust from there.
Got to make it work.
But a lot of people they can't back up their thought. So then instead of just being able to have a conversation, you get defensive.
Yep.
And you just, well, that doesn't make any sense. So,
Yeah.
I mean, why can't we talk about it?
Yeah.
I don't.
You start getting defensive. And again, that goes back to, you're not taught to think. You're taught what to think.
Right. You're taught to take information and expel it right back out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not why do you believe this, but just believe this. And so when it comes time to defend it, you're like, and then you feel like an idiot and you get defensive and then the whole thing falls apart.
Yep. Right.
And it's just,
And that is what we want parents to do when CPS knocks. We want their whole thing to fall apart. Right?
We want CPS to fall
We
apart.
want CPS to fall apart because they're going to ask them so many questions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, well, why
Exactly.
am I here?
Yeah. Yeah.
start asking their questions.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Excuse me, have you found Jesus?
What do you do with your children?
Do you know where your kid is right now?
bring out a watchtower.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Let me add some check marks.
Right.
Yeah, you got your own scorecard. Oh, really?
When they
Like,
come in,
wait, let me get
when
my
they come in,
score.
you've got a clipboard
Yeah.
What's your
and
name?
some notes.
What's your name?
Record everything.
Every little thing.
Everything.
Your name was what again?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Your supervisor?
Wait.
And
Yeah.
your supervisor's
Treat
name is.
it.
Okay, great.
Treat it just like you got into a car accident with somebody and you're trading
Oh
information and
yeah.
everything.
Oh yeah.
Every little thing. Who is your insurance provider?
Yeah.
Who is your?
What all the
Oh,
information
we're not
you
going
need.
anywhere until I get off.
Get
Yeah, yeah.
everything. Yeah.
I want.
Let me get my camera. Let me
Yeah. Thank God for
Hey,
phones.
can you come in for a tea?
Yeah. Let me get that license plate real quick.
And then we're gonna go. The Knights Who Say Knee over there on the Twitters, real quick, ladies. Thank you for putting your foot down and stepping up to do something about the injustices you're seeing. It's difficult. It's a difficult thing to do, to put yourself out there like that.
We do. That's awesome.
And
We
he has a gif out there that says, "I'm mad as hell and I don't know what to do about it."
Yeah, that's what we were. We
Yeah.
were mad as hell. We
Hey,
didn't know what
right?
to do about it. And
Well,
we tried to do
that's it.
something.
Hopefully, moving forward, y'all need anything, we're here. You guys need. We can help support in any way. You let us know. Operation Stop CPS. Guys, how can they find you again? Social medias, all that fun jazz. How can they help out?
Well, we're on Facebook at Operation Stop CPS.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Instagram at Operation Stop CPS.
Yep.
And our website is www.operationstopcps.com.
We've
I'm sensing a theme.
yeah, Operation Stop.
Yeah,
Yeah, we put all the stuff out there. It's all on all the social medias and everything. We put out all the links. Go get the book. They've got a shirt. Anything that you need, they've got information. I'm sure they've got ways to contact on all of those sites.
Yes, we
Yep.
do. We do.
Awesome, guys.
OperationStopCPS@gmail.com.
There you go.
There you go.
Guys, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Later.